Hi, it's Phoenix Genesis. So I'm going to show you what I took last night, my complete kit on the night hike, 5 miles, 6 floors of climbing north of Agua Dulce on the Pacific Crest Trail last night with my boyfriend and my 2 dogs. So let's go. I started off with the Lone Peak 6 wide men's, size 9. Absolutely a game changer. I had injured my foot. I think something bit me, and so I really was kind of hesitant to go on a hike. Steve actually walked with the dogs, and I didn't have the dogs because I didn't want anybody pulling on me. This was swollen. It looked like something that bit me when I was organizing my gear. It was way more purple. Now, you know, going up and down 6 floors of climbing and having other shoes, I probably would have gotten more injured, and these things were absolutely amazing. I mean, I'm healing up, so I'm very, very, very happy about that. Yeah, they've got some trail dust. You see, they're already one use, 5 miles, and they're starting to kind of bend and conform, but just a little bit of dirt. No gaiters. I don't like gaiters. I like my feet to breathe, and you see I lace them up like this. But anyway, these things were just absolutely lovely. They were wide enough, they were comfy. The grip allowed me to go down some steep sections. I never slipped in the dark, so big game changer. And so I always wear Puma socks. The Darn Toughs, maybe in the Sierras this year, depending on what the snowpack conditions are. But the Pumas just work for me. They're cushy, they're warm. I've used every different type of Puma. I like really short socks, and they just work for me. Now, I would have worn a technical shirt, like a Nike Dry Fit or something of similar capacity at Adidas or different one, doesn't matter what brand. But anyway, since it was desert and it was a quick one, I just wore a t-shirt. I was totally fine with that. My old bicycle shorts, I cut out the lining. These things have met better days. Worked absolutely fine, nice and comfy. Hate having to take keys, but that's the way I had to because we had the car. It was a day hike, so I didn't have time to take different keys out. I just took them all and I put them in a hard glass case so they wouldn't puncture my pack. I don't like sharp things in my pack. Originally, I said in my video I had 1 liter of water, and ended up the other bottle stayed in the car, and I only had half a liter, which I drank none of. I actually ended up drinking it once we got to Big Mouth Pizza in Agua Dulce, so that was perfectly fine for me. Some toilet paper and a little doggy poop bag to pack it out. So, and then that was a little napkin too. That was afterwards. That actually wasn't in the pack. Again, my Mountain Hardwear 3-ounce Ghost Whisperer with the hoodie, windbreaker with the hoodie, full zip. Game changer, man. Always, every through hiker, section hiker of any long distance trail, PCT, AT, Continental Divide, everybody should have one of these or something similar. Just absolutely phenomenal. I started out with this, I call it now my sun hoodie. It used to be a thick sweatshirt, but it's so old now. It used to be red too. My little Spider-Man hoodie I'd gotten for like $24 at I think JCPenney back in the day, years and years ago. But now it's just like a really thin sun hoodie. So I started with this because it got kind of cold. You saw at the beginning of the video. Then I added the wind jacket because the wind really picked up, and I was like, finally started getting hot a mile in. I usually just, if I'm hiking, the wind jacket's enough at night. So as long as I have a buff and gloves and a beanie. So anyway, that came off, and then I had this on. Now on the return trip of the hike, it was, even though it was in the probably mid 40s at that point, it got down to like 41, I think, last night. It's going to be 41 again tonight out there. I ended up being hot with this on, but I wouldn't take it off because I knew the wind would pick up once we got up on that ridge. But when the wind picked up, it was like air conditioning because this is a large size, so it just vented underneath, and it was just glorious. So packs down to nothing, cleans easily, so everybody should have one of those. Then just a shopping bag, completely waterproof, so And that's all I need that size for my gear. I knew it wasn't going to rain, but you know what? I just feel more secure bringing, you know, the rain gear with that bag liner and my Walmart dollar rain poncho that weighs 1 ounce. I mean, it's just, and it's extra warmth and wind protection, and also, you know, you use it as like a polycryo to sit on the ground if you had to do something like take dirt out of your shoe. For 1 extra ounce for this, and maybe 1 ounce for that 2 extra ounces of security and comfort just in case. And you can also sit on this bag too if you needed to. You know, I mean, it was worth just carrying that. Anyway, the rest of the clothes, yes, I had the beanie on. I started with the ball cap, which is just my Nike one I've had forever, since 2016. And then I switched to the beanie after I made that first part of the video, because it was cold, and the beanie was just kept my head nice and warm. Fleece gloves, I got at the dollar store, which my nose was kind of running from my sinuses cleaning out in the wilderness in the cold, so those probably need to be washed, but they kept my hands nice and toasty. I do have these Z-Packs possum down gloves, but these work great. Sorry. Here, I just brought, because I knew we were going to go have food after Big Mouth Pizza. Steve had pizza. I actually had a Greek salad and a baked tortellini and a meatball. We got 4 meatballs. The dogs got 3 of those. Now we split up with their dog food. So anyway, I wanted to brush my teeth, little bamboo dental floss picker, because last time I didn't have it, it was just miserable after I ate. A little bit of hand sanitizer. I didn't bring much, you know, just enough, and a little chapstick. And I used the chapstick. I used all of this. And just a little ditty bag here, which is a plastic bag. I used a chapstick because it was kind of cold and dry, so I did that. Also, Steve ended up falling at the beginning of the hike, so having that hand sanitizer was really good. He scraped his hand, his fingers, his arm was bleeding, his knees. He had brought Band-Aids for himself, so you know, I was glad I actually brought that this time after I cut my leg that time on the aqueduct hike a couple weeks ago. Cables. Again, probably wouldn't have had so many little stuff sacks, but I was in a hurry, and I keep everything in these so they don't get scratched up, so I just grabbed and threw everything in the back. So this is my USB cable type C, which I use to charge my Rovivon flashlight, and then I have the this is the small cable for the Petzl, the micro cable, and then my iPhone cable, which I have my iPhone 7, which also came with me. This I got, and it's a little totes bag. I gotten this out of a hiker box with a flashlight at Lake Morena in 2016. So I cut all the tags off, everything for extra weight. So I ended up putting the Rovivon in there, and I put this Metro clip on. I know, yes, it's more weight, but you know what? It helps when your hands are cold and you've got thick gloves. It's good to wrap this around your wrist and hands, so you don't drop the flashlight, and the second thing, because eventually you rotate hands, and the other thing is, if I were to drop it at night, even though, yeah, it's supposedly like glows in the dark, not as much as it should, especially if it, I don't know, when it dies, nothing's really glowing, and I just want to be able to find it quickly, so having the red clip from my boyfriend's job, having that red clip is just crucial. Plus I can clip this on and off, which is really good. I can wear it around my neck. So that's the Petzl headlamp that I carried, and then a lens cleaning cloth for my glasses and my phone, and I did have my glasses too, glasses, and then which I need new ones, and my little Swiss Army knife mini that comes with tweezers and nail file knife and clippers and toothpick, everything you could dream of that you would need. I said the Nikon case when I was so tired last night. My Nike fanny pack, which I did use with my phone case when I wanted to have the phone out in case I needed the Guthook/Far Out app. I could access it easily, and that's all I had in there, and I really didn't need it, so eventually I just shoved it in the pack. So going on to the pack, my REI Flash 22, it was all I needed. And last but not least, because it was so cold, and just in case like the car was stolen, or I don't know, it was like one of us, like if Steve had gotten more injured and I had to go for help, I could wrap him up in the blanket. So it was the fleece blanket. So I wanted to train as if I had a full kit. It pretty weighs about as much as probably my 10 ounce lightened equipment Enigma 40 quilt, short and slim. So anyway, so that would be the same, and I don't want to bring my good quilt out there on the dirty trail till I get my board gear bivy. So anyway, that was my whole kit list of what I wore, what I carried. I don't know what the weight was, but I mean, really light. I mean, look at this. And honestly, if I added a down jacket, a light one like a Mountain Hardwear jacket or any light down jacket, or a thicker, thermal like my Nike thermal hoodie, and swap that one out, and I added a sleeping bag to this on top, instead of that. I mean, all that would fit in the Flash. Oh, also, and my 1/8 inch foam pad, or say my Uber Light 5 ounce shorty, or Thermarest Neo Air. If I threw one of those in there, that's a complete kit. You can, and you threw in, of course, some little snacks for food, and maybe an extra, extra half a liter of water, and you're good to do the Pacific Crest Trail and stay out there at night. And probably my lightweight 3 ounce Cuban fiber tarp, or the 7 ounce, was it, or is it 5, or no, 5 ounces, 7 ounces, I think, with the stakes, the titanium stakes, my Z-Packs 7x9 tarp, or my little Sea to Summit poncho tarp. I mean, so if I threw in the tarp, I threw in some kind of pad to sleep on, and I swapped out the fleece blanket for my 40 degree. I mean, I could, in the desert part, November, I would have been totally fine, because it got down to maybe like 41, but with the down jacket, you're gonna be good. And I mean, last night when I came home, my metabolism was like in overdrive. I had hardly any blankets on at all. I was all nice and toasty from that. We were maintaining about a 2 mile an hour pace. We would have done more, probably about 2.3 mile pace, but Steve injured himself, so that took about 20 minutes, where he wanted me to wait, or otherwise the dogs would want to be with me and not stay with him, so we stayed together. But we maintained a really good pace, and I was, if you go to sleep right away and you're not lounging around in the cold, that's when you get cold. Like when we went to the restaurant, I wrapped the fleece around me, but I was starting to get kind of cold, just sitting in the restaurant. And then when I got home, I just took a hot bath and everything was good, and then I went to bed, and that was great. So my foot hurt a little bit last night, some of the muscles in the foot, but I mean, nothing hurts. My calves don't hurt. I feel really wonderful. So this early in the season, it's not even December yet, and I'm feeling this good, where I can go out at night. Oh, I know what I want to talk about real quick. So part of this was to test like how warm I would be. Part of it would be to test the shoes, but I wanted to test the Rovivon, and Jupiter Hikes did a really great video, like explaining all the doohickey doodad features of this thing, and so I won't go into that. Check out his video. I can talk about it more and show like the unboxing, because I got 2 of these. But I wanted to say this thing was amazing, and holding it parallel, like he said, to elongate the shadows was just wonderful. I could just go along, and having the good tread on the shoes, I mean, once I got in my rhythm, and I wasn't talking the video, there was no huffing puffing, I was just going along, having the time of my life. Then, and because I hadn't charged it, and I've been using it for like 2 weeks since I got it, it died. And then it was not so fun to hike when this thing died, because unfortunately, for some reason, when I got in the car, it was doing 3 different light settings. On the trail, it would only do 1, which was like the lowest lumens. So it was not as fun to hike. My eyes did adjust eventually, but it just was more of a challenge. I took smaller steps. So, but I ended up with the Petzl Bindi. I ended up not using it as a headlamp. I ended up holding it in my hand like I would with a flashlight, to get more kind of more 3D effect of seeing the little rocks and gullies and things, so I wouldn't trip on the trail. So yeah, that was, and this weighs an ounce, and this weighs like a half ounce. Well, with the clip and stuff, it's an ounce. It's not the weight, and they're both rechargeable. And I did, oh, you know what? I forgot. I did bring two other things. Sorry about that. I did bring my little car charger, and I did bring a little like battery pack, which also has a flashlight on it, which was just in case, because Steve only had one flashlight. So I could have charged, if I wanted to sit in the freezing cold wind up on the ridge, I could have recharged the Rovivon and got it all charged up, and I had those in a little case. So I totally forgot. Wait, they're still in here actually. Wait a minute. Yeah, where are they? I know I still have all that stuff in there. What's in my bag? Okay, come on, I know, did I? Yeah, there it is, okay. I'm glad I remembered that. So, yes, I also brought this. So, totally forgot that. Okay, so in here we have, come on, get out. There we go. There we go. So, someone back when I was doing my Sobo hike up, I was up at Sierra City, and we went to I went to Markyville to get a bunch of McDonald's hamburger trail magic and chicken McNuggets for people just to pay it forward. And this nice guy just gave me this car charger. So yeah, I always bring that. That's so useful in the car to make sure your phone's completely charged when you go out. And this is my little my power, hashtag power, I don't know who makes this thing. Here it is, Goba Goods, and I got this actually at a Vons across the street when it was there. I think it was $10, and this thing stays charged forever, man. Look at, it's like, what, 3 bars now, and it's been like charged for like 6 months. And it has this little flashlight on it too. See that? So I did have an extra little flashlight if I needed it, and this ends up charging with the same little black cord that does the Bindi, the little micro USB. So I did have this as an extra flashlight, and I could have, if I wanted to, sat outside and charged any other of my electronics. So I normally wouldn't. Again, this is you can use a small power bank. I would bring a bigger one on the PCT if you're doing like a through hike, but you know, this is enough for just being out one night, just in case I needed to charge. And again, this for the car. If I don't have a car, I would bring. Actually, on the PCT too, I did carry this one since the guy gave it to me and I was Soboing. And actually, this did become useful on the PCT because I was able to, if I got a ride from someone, like to go into town, I could plug this into their car and charge my phone while I was in their car. But you got to remember not to leave it in the car. That's one problem with it. So I don't know, I may or may not take it depending next year, probably not. So anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope, again, this isn't a definitive gear list, but this just tells you that in this type of conditions in late November in the desert section, which would probably be the equivalent of March, early March in the desert section on the PCT, or at least mid-March, you can get away with a really light kit, you know. Maybe if you really want to be warm, take a stove and heat up fluids, because I did drink like 2 cups of lemon ginger tea when I came home to warm up my body, as well as the you know, having a quick bath and to warm myself up. And I also drank another bottle of water too, another half a liter of water when I came home to just kind of hydrate. But having that warm tea just really helped me to recover a lot after being out there in the cold. Anyway, Phoenix Genesis, hope you guys are training, and I'll see you on the trail. More for 2022 and in 2023. Bye.